Hi, third graders. Welcome back to math. It's lesson 5-4. We're going to work on recognizing some helper facts later on in this lesson. But first, some quick look cards. So I'm going to quickly flash these to you, and I want you to think about what you saw and how you saw it. I saw 12. I saw two groups of 6, and I know that 6 plus 6 is 12. But I also know that 2 times 6 is 12. And another. What did you see? I saw 8 because I saw a group of 4 here and a group of 4 here. 4 plus 4 is 8, and 2 times 4 is 8. But I also saw it a different way, and I am going to keep this open. I saw groups of 2. 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And I know that this is 2, 4, 6, 8. One more. What did you see there? I saw 12. Did you see 12? I saw two groups of 4 here kind of together and then one over here by itself. I'm going to show that. So here's two groups of 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. Or I can think of it as 2 times 4 equals 8. And so that's going to be 8 plus the 4 that are over here, and that's going to be 12. Okay, go ahead and get out your whiteboard marker and eraser. I have a problem I want you to work on. I want you to do it 2 different ways, actually. I want you to try to solve 9 times 6. And I want to see if you can figure out 2 different ways to do that. And over here it says try to think of efficient ways. Efficient. Efficient means kind of organized. Kind of maybe do something a little bit easier, a little bit faster. See what you can come up with. I'll pause the video and come back. Now you have heard me say many times, when in doubt, draw it out. And one way to draw things out to solve a math problem for multiplication is to make an array. But an array it's an accurate strategy to use, especially if I'm stuck on something. But I don't know that it's the most efficient. And what I mean by that is when I want to do something efficiently, I kind of want to do it, with maybe not so many steps. Okay, and man, that's a lot of dots to make for an array sometimes. But array is a great tool to use. But I want to do something that's a little bit more efficiently. So the problem that we're working on is 9 times 6. Well, I know that 10 times 6 is 60. But my task is to figure out 9 times 6. That's 1 less 6. So if I take 6 away, I'm going to get 54. 9 times 6 is 54. And I used this helper fact of 10 times 6. Another helper fact that I can use is 9 times 5. And I know that by counting by 5s 9 times, I'm going to get 45. Okay? But this is 5 9s, but I want 6 9s. I don't have enough 9s, so I need to add a 9. 45 plus 9 is 54. Helper fact, 9 times 5. So efficient ways to help you solve problems would be to use some strategies where there aren't as many steps. Something that I can just quickly kind of do in my head, and using helper facts is a great way to be efficient when solving bigger multiplication problems. Okay, so I want you to turn to pages 298 and 299 in the back of your math journal. But before you do that, let's look at it. This is just a little inventory, and it may take you a few minutes to do it, maybe 5 or 7 minutes, and that's okay. So basically what you're going to do is just look at each fact that's listed, and you are going to do some check marks and maybe write down a strategy. So what I mean by that is 5 times 6, do I know it? If you know it, put a check mark or an X under the know it column. If you don't know it, put the check mark or X there. And if you don't know it, well, how can I figure it out? What can I do to figure that problem out? Well, with this one here, I could count by 5s. Okay. Well, this one I know. It's 90. I don't need to write anything here. 1 times 0. I know it. 9 times 5. I know it. If I don't know it, I don't know 8 times 10. If I'm saying I don't know that one yet, well, how can I figure this out? Well, I could count by 10s. All right? So take some time to fill this out. It might take you a few minutes. Look at the problem, and you're going to do both pages. Look at the problem. If you know it, check know it. If you don't know it, and if you don't know it, that's okay. It's absolutely okay if you don't know it yet. You might not know it yet, but as time goes on, you will know it. So take some time to do that. Pause the video, and when you have it completed, come back. All right. Now that you're back, I want you to turn to page 160 in your math journal. And you're going to come to a page that looks like this. And this is one example of a multiplication chart. It's a multiplication facts chart. All right. We are going to do a color coding activity to help you with some facts. So I would like you to get a colored pencil or a crayon, a light colored crayon. Don't use markers. Okay? So now that you have something to color with, I want you to, let's take a look at this chart. Okay? Find the column with all the 2's facts. Right here. Where we have 2 times 0, 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4, and so on. I want you to, with me, say the answer to those problems. So 2 times 0 is 0. And 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 9 is 18. And 2 times 10 is 20. So I would like you to choose one of your colored pencils and neatly just shade in all the 2's. Okay, take your time to do it neatly. You can pause the video while you're doing it and then come back. All right, so next we have the 3's. How can we use our times 2 problems, our 2's facts, to help us figure out 3's facts? Well, we can add a group to a 2's fact to solve a related 3's fact. So if 2 times 1 is 2, I can just add 1 more to figure out 3 times 1, which is 3. So you can use the same colored pencil, or you can pick a different one. I picked a different one, and I want you to shade in your 3's facts. Again, you can pause the video while you're doing that neatly. What fact in the 2's could we use to help us figure out, I don't know, for example, 3 times 9? What fact in the 2's could we use? We could use 2 times 9. Now, how could we do that? Well, I know that 2 times 9 is 18, so I would add one more group of 9 to get 27. And I can think of it as 2 times 9 equals 18 plus another 9 equals 27. Okay, now I want to go to the tens. Let's go to the tens and find a color. I'm going to go with pink. And I want you to shade all the tens in a color. Do that now and pause the video and you can come back. Thank you. Now you notice that I also shaded in my 9s the same color as I did my 10s, because when I am looking at a problem, I don't know, let me think of, I want to figure out what 9 times 7 is. Okay, well, I can use the helper fact 10 times 7, which is 70. This time I'm going to subtract the row because I want to know what 9 times 70 is. So I'm going to take a row of 7s away, and I'm going to get 63. So 9 times 7 equals 63. This time I want you to take another color. I'm going to use the green this time. And I want you to shade in your 4s, 5s, and 6s. And do that with all. Okay, so we're going to consider our 5s helper facts because those are ones that we are quite comfortable with figuring out. Okay, so if I want to know what 4 times 4 is, I can think of 4 times 5 is 20, but I'm going to have to subtract a 4, and I'm going to get 16. So 4 times 4 is 16. And I can think of this the same way as if I want to know what 6 times 7 is. And if I go next door to 5 times 7, which is 35, but I want one more 7 because I want 6 7s, I can add a 7 and I'm going to get 42. So that's a great way to use a multiplication chart to help you determine what the helper facts are, which would be the 2s, the 5s, and the 10s. We can use those helper facts to help us solve other problems. So here we're working on applying adding and subtracting a group. So if I have 6 times 8, what would my helper fact be? Well, let's go look here at our multiplication chart. 6 times 8, we didn't shade it in, but it's here. So 6 times 8, and I can think of, well, 8 times 5, I could use that as my helper fact. So 5 times 8, which is 40, and how I can use it? Well, I can add one more group to 40 to get 48. So that's what I want you to do on page 161. You can use the example here to guide you along. And then we've got some work to do on page 162, working on writing some number models to help you solve problems. And last, math boxes. Take your time, do your best work, use your multiplication chart on page 160 if you need to. And I'm going to go back to this page here. This says number models. So that means there's probably going to be more than one number model that you're going to need to write in order to solve the problems. Because remember, sometimes we have to do more than one thing in order to solve a problem. Good luck.